Lucas Oil Raceway, the site of race number 12 for the ARCA Racing Series. Guys like Grant Enfinger looking for his first ever win, but he's mixed in there with Frank Kimmel, the veteran of this series. Chris Buescher, and how about Ty Dillon, the young guns trying to make a name in the sport.
11 races completed.
It's Gerhardt winning for the 7th time at Daytona.
Tim George Jr. gets his first win. Look who comes over to congratulate him.
8 races to go.
Here comes Dillon at the stripe. It's Ty Dillon winning this one. Ty Dillon will win in the Windy City.
5 wins by points leader, Ty Dillon.
Dillon has been out front all 82 of the laps that have been completed.
Will anybody be able to catch him?
Look who's the fastest car last time. Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher.
There's still plenty of racing left. Who will come out on top?
2 weeks ago, it was the cornfields of Iowa, and now it's the cornfields of Indiana that surround this short track as we're getting ready for ARCA Racing from the short track. Lucas Oil Raceway. It is the Ansell Protective Gloves 200 on speed. A very warm day once again. 94 degrees, the heat index 102. That slight breeze of 10 miles per hour isn't cooling anything off, and the clear skies have allowed the sun to bake on this short track all day. Earlier today, we practiced for an hour and a half, and then in qualifying, it was young Ty Dillon once again with the fastest time. Almost 110 miles per hour, a new track record here at Lucas Oil Raceway. He is the Menards Pole Award winner presented by Ansell, and he's standing by with Ray Dunlap.
Well, 6th career pole, a big deal, and track position means so much at this track. Have you and your crew chief talked about what the strategy is going to be tonight to stay up front, Ty?
Yeah, we're kind of going to play this race kind of like we did at Iowa and just stay patient and try and stay out front and keep the mistakes to a minimum. Just have a good day on pit road, and I believe we got another fast car just like we did at Iowa. The 41 Chevy's been awesome since we've unloaded. I got to thank Himmelgarn Enterprises and Church Institute on the car. It's a good-looking car, and I'm just excited to get this race going.
The car he has tonight is a former winner this year at Toledo.
And Ray, the driver there will start next to him on the front row is young Ryan Blaney. Ryan, talk about this run and the opportunity to race with Venturini Motorsports here in the ARCA Series.
Yeah, you know, being my second start, it's such an honor to be with Venturini. You know, their stuff always runs so good, and you always know that you have a chance to win. So that's really all I'm looking for. And you know, running with Ty and James Buescher and Frank Kimmel, it's great to get out here and get so much experience. And I just got to thank Seal Wrap and Repair Tape for coming on board for this weekend and see if we can get them a victory.
What are your expectations tonight?
Top 3 would be really good tonight, especially the competition that's here at Lucas Oil Raceway. If we can come out with a win, that'd be great. But a top 3, that'd be pretty nice too.
And in his debut, guys, at Winchester, Ryan Blaney nearly won the race earlier this season in the ARCA Series. Guys?
Thanks, Jim. Hello, everyone. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons with you for the 12th race for the ARCA Racing Series. Now, we come back to a short track. The last one we were on, Iowa, it had progressive banking. Not so much here at this racetrack. How will they pass here, Phil?
Well, it's a little bit of progressive banking, but this racetrack is really small compared to that place like Iowa. This racetrack is almost 7/10 of a mile, but the straightaways are really short, and the corners are really long, and the groove is out against the outside wall. In order to pass, you're going to have to go down to the bottom. It's really inviting. You see the room down there, Rick, but it's very, very difficult to get enough bite down there to make that pass. So you're going to see a lot of beating and banging off the corner. You don't want to miss this now. This is going to be exciting.
How about Ty Dillon? The guy has already won 5 races this year. He starts on the pole. Can anyone beat him?
Well, they can beat him. There's so much talent. We just heard from Ryan Blaney. Awfully good. He dominated the race at Winchester until he cut a tire down late. So there's so many good guys. Max Gresham that we've seen win 2 times on the K&N East Series. So much experience here, and people like Frank Kimmel, Bobby Gerhardt's here. So there's a great field here of veterans mixed in with a lot of young guys.
It's been 25 years since the ARCA Racing Series has run the short track here in Indianapolis. Lucas Oil Raceway is the side of this one. We will be bumping and banging when we come back here on Speed. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Sunoco, the official fuel of the ARCA Racing Series and fuel provider to 40 other racing series. By Goof Off, the miracle remover. Goof Off gets out the tough stuff ordinary cleaners can't. and by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway. The last time we were on the racetrack, it was in Iowa. Let's take a look back. Dillon has been out front all 105 laps.
Pretty much been all side Dillon. Started this race from the pole.
He has shown dominance 4 times he's been to victory lane. Only twice he's finished out of the top 10.
Boy, those restarts Ty Dillon have gotten all day long have been impressive. That's one thing that's been pretty dominant. He hasn't struggled much. Not a lot. Steady.
Ty Dillon's been out front 165, 172 laps that have been run. He has been dominant on this racetrack. None better than Ty Dillon at Iowa Speedway. He wins his 7th career race. Ty Dillon led all but 7 laps of this race. 7 of those career wins in just 14 races. He's won 50% of the races that he has started in. And of course, 5 wins this season have put him to the top of the points list. As we take a look at those numbers, Ty Dillon, Chris Buescher, 1 and 2, Frank Kimmel 3rd. How impressive is the lead that Ty Dillon has? Well, Frank Kimmel hasn't finished out of the top 10, and he's currently 3rd in points.
Yeah, what a great season Ty Dillon has had here with only 11 of the 19 races in the books.
The drivers have strapped into the race cars. That means it's time for them to fire the engines. We go trackside for the command.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the most famous words in motorsports, with Ansell, Scott Corvo.
On behalf of the 10,000 employees around the world that have been providing protection solutions for over 100 years, we'd like to welcome everybody tonight to the Ansell Protective Gloves 200. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
The command was, ladies and gentlemen, 3 females start this race. How will they fare tonight? And can anyone get by Ty Dillon? Come back with us. Welcome back. Ansell Protective Gloves 200 about to get underway. The cars are rolling around the racetrack, and your starting grid will roll across the top of the screen. Ty Dillon, just 18 years old, will bring the field to the green flag, and on his outside, a 17-year-old in Ryan Blaney.
I think last week we had 36 combined years in the front row. This year, 35.
Take a look at our Ansell race analysis, the particulars of this race and track.
As you can see, the racetrack is just a little bit less than 7/10 of a mile. 7.5-degree banking in the corners, a little bit progressive, a little bit flatter down on the bottom. It makes it really hard. It's inviting down there, really hard to get a bite. See the pit window somewhere around 120 to 130 laps, which means you can make this race on one pit stop. Track positions, very important here.
Let's learn a little bit more about a few of the drivers in the field. We go to our ARCA spotlight and Jim Trado.
We'll start with the number 08 of Casey Roderick. This young Georgian has a lot going for him, including an opportunity now with Randy Hill Racing. He won last year racing with James Finch in a coordination with Bill Elliott here in the ARCA Series. This is a brand new deal. They were fast in Iowa, finished 13th. Fast again in practice. They'll start 4th in the 08, so Casey Roderick is here to make a statement. Ray?
You know, Jim, Andy Hillenberg grew up right here in Indianapolis. He won the 1995 championship in this series and ran in the Indy 500. But he said one of his proudest moments may happen right here tonight because he has been watching a lot of young drivers. And this guy, Ryan Glensky, is 18 years old, and he won the Fast Track Blue Collar Hero competition. Andy Hillenberg oversaw that, and he said this is one really fine young race car driver. He believes that this kid could be the future right here in this series.
Ray, I want to take a look at 23-year-old Brett Hudson from, Owensboro, Kentucky. Hudson had a great 4th place run earlier this year at Talladega. Brett and his team may be here in Indiana, but their thoughts will be back home in Kentucky with their biggest fan, 5-year-old Harley Bryant, who is battling brain cancer. Brett told me her courageous attitude should be an eye-opener for all of us. Harley said she's going to be famous because her picture's going to be on a race car, and Brett will start his Dodge from the 20th spot.
What a beautiful young girl. We're riding along with a few different drivers. One of those is the 75 of Benny Chastain. Now, because of a driver change, he'll have to start at the rear of the field, but we'll ride along with him.
We're also going to ride along with the 16 car of Joey Coulter, the Ripper Energy Fuel Chevrolet for Coulter's Motorsports. Joey's going to start from the 9th spot.
Before the green flag fly, let's get the final thoughts from Jim Trado.
Chad Hockenbrau's had a really good run here. 4 straight top 10s coming into this race. He survived some engine issues last race to finish 10th at Iowa. Today, one lap of practice, and the motor let go on that Hampton Farms Chevrolet. So Roderick, starting 14th, until that motor change, he's got to qualify the car. He did that. Now he starts from the tail in the 58. Ray?
You know, Jim, you're always wondering who's that next guy to get the first big win. Well, I think it certainly could be Grant Enfinger. Look at his numbers. 10 times he's finished third or second, and he's had a couple opportunities to win. How about Talladega last year? Thought for sure he was going to get that victory, and maybe even Toledo this year. But tonight could be the shot that Grant Enfinger's been waiting for the last 5 years. Guys, we're about to go green.
Thanks, Ray. 200 laps around this short track. That equates to 137.5 miles. This is a very short race. Things are going to happen really fast. And Phil, as you mentioned, they're going to bump and bang to get position. Green flag is in the air in Indianapolis.
Great jump by Ty Dillon to take that first spot. Ryan Blaney may lose second to James Busher.
Busher's going to take away the second spot from Blaney as they go down the back stretch.
There's Tim George Jr., teammate to Ty Dillon, trying to make something happen on the inside. See him all the way down just outside the yellow line.
RCR cars have been extremely strong this year in the ARCA Racing Series. Tim George Jr. has even gone to victory lane in Pocono. A little bit of a shortened race there because of fog, but he was able to be out front when they called it.
Yeah, RCR 6 of the 11 wins this year in the ARCA Racing Series. There's Chad McCumbee inside Chris Busher right now. Good battle.
Chris Busher in that 08. After starting up in the 4th spot, starting to drop back. We got McCumbee to the inside.
Casey Roderick, that 08 car right there. That's Chris Busher right behind Chad McCumbee on the inside. Look how difficult it is to get that bite on the bottom to complete the pass.
Still McCumbee working the bottom of the racetrack. Can't quite get by that 08 of Roderick.
Chad moves up the hill. He does clear Casey Roderick to take over that spot. See Ryan Blaney taking a peek at the inside of James Busher.
Get Blaney qualifying second for this race. He's dropped back into the 3rd position now as James Busher's been able to get by him for that 2nd spot. Ty Dillon, we've seen this story before where he tries to check out on the field already. A 1.2 second lead over 2nd place James Busher.
See Ryan Blaney continually try to get underneath James Busher. You can get underneath him. His car is turning so good. He gets underneath him. Now let's see if he can keep the power down and stay up beside him. See, he loses that ground up off the corner and then gains it back driving in the corner.
See if he can make the pass going through 3 and 4. It looks like Ryan Blaney will take over that 2nd spot. Takes it away from James Busher. Right side, Chris Busher in the 17. Chasing after that 08 of Roderick. And now we see Tim George Jr. ducking to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by the 16 of Joey Coulter.
Great field of cars here. We had 46 cars attempting to qualify for these 35 positions. A lot of heavy hitters here. You have Joey Coulter right now that doesn't run regularly. We have Ryan Blaney that's only his 2nd start here in ARCA Racing Series.
Young drivers in this field. Josh Williams, just a 17-year-old. Jared Marks, a 17-year-old. You mentioned Ryan Blaney, 17 years old. Bunch of young guys trying to cut their teeth in stock car racing.
Chris Busher's another one of those young drivers. Already 2 wins under his belt. He won twice last year. Hasn't got the victory lane yet this year, but he's been second 4 times.
Yeah, his favorite track is Toledo.
Yeah, I would think so.
2 wins at Toledo for Chris Busher. Busher in that 17, currently running in the 6th position. James Busher, same last name, cousins. James Busher running in the 3rd spot right now. Take a look at Tim George Jr. in that 31. He's trying to take the 7th spot away from Joey Coulter. Phil, it's a little bit strange to watch a race and not see guys hugging the bottom of the racetrack. Normally we would say that's the fast way around, but we're already seeing everyone move up about 2 grooves on this track.
Yeah, exactly. And we may see cars even higher than that, maybe above the last set of white lines before this race is over when these guys search for some more grip. Tim George continually trying to get by the 16 of Joey Coulter. Really challenging to make it work on the bottom.
Battle for 7th continues. We see Tim George Jr. running a little bit lower line, trying to find some traction around this racetrack. Joey Coulter hugging that higher white dash line around the top side of this racetrack. Matt Crafton running this race. Tom Hessert just behind him. Crafton in the 88, Tom Hessert in the 52.
Matt's in a team car to Frank Kimmel. See Messina Wildlife on the hood of that car, along with Menards sponsoring that 88 car.
That 88 of Matt Crafton started this race 19th. Continues to try to move up, right?
And guys, he was way wicked tight in practice today. Said he just could never get that car to turn the way he wanted to. Just before they got ready to go out for qualifying, they realized they had the rear tires in the wrong position. They made that change, and then Matt said on his qualifying run it was pretty good. So they're going to try to learn from that and make adjustments throughout the race tonight to continue to try to loosen Matt Crafton up.
Saw his stats too, really impressive. 7 times he's finished in the top 10 here in the Camping World Truck Series, including 3rd last year.
Matt Crafton, amazingly enough, only has 3 starts in the ARCA Racing Series. Has finished 5th twice in those 3 starts. That's his best finish. So looking to improve on that. But he's going to have to reel in the 41 of Ty Dillon, who's been dominant ever since the drop of the green flag here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Ty Dillon has a 2.3 second lead over Ryan Blaney. James Busher, Chad McCumbee, and the 08 of Casey Roderick. They are your top 5 here at Lucas Oil Raceway as we've completed 14 of the 200 laps. Tomorrow, the biggest party in NASCAR hits high gear at the Brickyard. Tune in as the pilot of the famed 43, A.J. Allmendinger, joins the fun. Don't miss NASCAR Trackside from Indy tomorrow, 6 Eastern, right here on Speed. Still Ty Dillon out in front. He has a 2.1 second lead now as Ryan Blaney trying to close that gap as Dillon has been working around some of the slower lap traffic already. Just 24 cars on the lead lap. 2 cars off the track, Harriman and Harmon.
A yellow car right there, the 15, the seal wrap Chevrolet. That's Ryan Blaney. That's our 2nd place car. There he is right there. Ryan doing a nice job. Obviously son of Dave Blaney, famed open wheel driver, Sprint Cup star.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, at the top of the show, Phil mentioned pit strategy, and I think it could get interesting down here. The teams came to this race thinking they were only going to have 6 tires in the pits. ARCA made a last-second change and gave them 8. So will they ever use all 8 tires? Well, a number of the teams told me yes, absolutely. And one of those is the 15 of Ryan Blaney. They said they expect to pit anywhere with even 40 to 45 laps to go at the end of this race to put on their 2nd set of tires. That'll be interesting to see if they were really willing to give up that kind of track position and whether tires will make a difference. Jim?
Ray in the 52 car, the Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet, and Tom Hessert here racing with the number 88 of Matt Crafton. We saw him how he could race to the inside of Matt Crafton and not get past him in that white 52. Hessert has had an issue since practice began, getting the center of the corner off. He said he just cannot get the car to handle properly. He and his crew chief John Monson worked through it all during practice, and in the early stages here, you can see him run even with the 88 of Crafton, but unable to get there. Matt center off. One more tug of the wheel where the car feels comfortable. They'll drag race again down the front stretch.
You know, Tom has a lot of experience here, but it's all on open wheel stuff and midgets.
These 2 drivers have been battling for that position for quite some time now. It looks like Hessert's going to flex the muscles a little bit there and take it away from Matt Crafton.
There's Josh Williams, a 02 car, another 17-year-old you were talking about earlier. Some more of the young blood. How about Chad Hockenbaugh, the 58? Remember, he had to go to the back of the pack due to an engine change. Got 1 lap of practice. He's already made his way back up into the top 20.
Yeah, he qualified 14th, had to change the motor, so goes to the back of the field, works all the way back up to the 18th spot now and trying to reel in a few more positions if he can get by Josh Williams and Matt Crafton.
Talking to Barry Owen, crew chief for Josh Williams and the 02 car. Barry has a lot of experience. He actually won as a car owner the Busch race here back in the 90s with Mike Wallace. So some good tutelage on the pit box there for Josh Williams.
Right behind him, Chad Hockenbaugh is really looking strong as he went by the 88 of Matt Crafton. He looked like he made that pass with ease, and now trying to get by the 02 of Josh Williams. And Crafton running very high in that 88 car. Josh Williams just in front of Hockenbaugh, the 02 and the 58. It's a battle for the 16th spot on the racetrack as we see Jared Marks in the 8 and that young driver in the 11. Pretty impressive run already. That is Ryan Glenski.
Yeah, I've been watching him. When we went away to commercial break, he was running behind the Matt Crafton battle, and he drove by them and drove away from him. You see him now drive by the 8 of Jared Marks, and now he's going after Grant Enfinger. And the Grant Enfinger is one of the best guys we have here in the series. 4th in points coming in here. Ryan Glinsky is doing a terrific job. I think Andy Hillenberg is justified in being excited about this kid.
Yeah, Andy told me about how the whole process worked, where he had, in his driving school, he was grading these drivers against professional drivers, professional race car drivers. And he said that the driver of the 11, Ryan Glinsky, scored as well as one of his professional drivers. And he said, you know what? He looks so good. I had to give him a ride, and this was the opportunity right here at LOR.
Yeah, Ryan has a lot of experience. He started racing at 5 years old in go-karts and then moved up through Bandoleros and Allison Legacy cars, late models. He's had 19 state championships in the various forms of racing that he's run.
Very, very impressive. We see Jared Marks still chasing after that 36 of Grant Enfinger. Those two battling for the 13th position. The gap between 1 and 2 has shrunk to 1 second now, as Ryan Blaney has closed the gap to 1 second. And there are no cars in between the two on the racetrack.
Saw that yellow car for just a second. That's Frank Kimmel. Remember, he had to go to the back of the pack because he wasn't in line for qualifying on time because he had a problem right at the tail end of practice. But he's within a half a straightaway, going a lap down right now.
And Ryan Blaney looking very impressive now as he's been able to reel in that 41 of Ty Dillon.
Ty forced way up, again, close to the outside wall by Ron Cox in the 28 car. Ryan Blaney is right there now.
Ryan Blaney all over the back bumper. Ty Dillon looked like he was going to be the dominant car, and Blaney has reeled him in and now battling for the lead.
This may be a peak at a battle we're going to see for a long, long time here. Both these young drivers with so much promise. We haven't seen a whole lot of Ryan. He's been running late models, the past late model series. We saw him run a couple of the K&N East races this year, as well as the ARCA race that he dominated at Winchester until he cut a tire down. Now he's going for the lead here on Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney, the 17-year-old, trying to take the spot away from the 18-year-old Ty Dillon, and he will take it away. And he leads now at Lucas Oil Raceway.
And just about to put a 9-time ARCA champion, Frank Kimmel, a lap down.
And Frank Kimmel has raced on this racetrack twice before, but never in an ARCA Racing Series car. How about that? Ryan Dillon going by the 9-time champion.
Ryan Blaney and Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
You just
combined them because of their age. Ryan Blaney, your new leader here at Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. Ty Dillon runs second. James Busher, Chad McCumbee, and Casey Roderick. Your top 5 here. Short track racing, the ARCA Racing Series. Tomorrow night on Speed, it's the world's toughest truckers. They head back to their short track roots, beating and banging under the lights. You don't want to miss the action from Indianapolis. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Speed, the exclusive home of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Caution came out for the 75 of Benny Chastain. He slowed on the racetrack in turn number 2. They threw the caution, and about 10 cars came on to pit road, but none of our drivers that were up front. Ryan Blaney still holding on to the top spot. James Busher running second. Ty Dillon scored third. No lead change taking place. A few things did happen on pit road. Let's go down to Jim Trado.
Hey guys, Chad McCumbee came down pit road. He was 7th quick in practice, but I talked to him as he was strapping in the number 1 mod space Ford for Andy Belmont Racing. He said, we just don't have the adjustability we want in the car yet. We built it in here, so he and his team owner Andy Belmont, former ARCA racer himself, decided to come down pit road, make the change now on the race car because they were not getting enough forward bite off the corner. So Chad McCumbee, one of the cars down on pit road, giving him track position, but he said he was not going forward quick enough, so that's why they wanted to make this stop now.
Coming out of turn number 4, green flag goes back in the air. Ryan Blaney with a great restart. Just behind him, it's James Busher, who was able to get by Ty Dillon for that second spot.
Yeah, just before that caution came out, he was able to get by Ty Dillon and take over that second spot. Right now, Casey Roderick holds down the 4th spot. You see Frank Kimmel, he restarted on the inside. That means he's a lap down. Right now, the first car a lap down. He needs a caution to get that Aaron's lucky dog.
Wants to get back on the lead lap currently. There are only 17 cars on the lead lap. Field bunched up once again after this restart. Ryan Blaney trying to check out on the field as he goes by one of the slower lap cars, and you see some side-by-side racing. Kinsey Rustin in the 44 of Frank Kimmel.
I think the top 11 cars stayed on the racetrack that time. Right now, Max Gresham is running 12th. He's the first car that came down pit road on that caution flag.
And Kinsey Rustin getting in front of Frank Kimmel. Big move, because now she will be able to get the free pass, get back on the lead lap if a caution were to come out.
Yeah, Brett Hudson was able to get the Aaron's lucky dog. Kinsey was one spot behind him, but she came to pit road, put 4 tires on, and she was able to drive by Frank in good position right now.
How about the 11 of Ryan Glensky? Great move by him. He's moving up into the top 10.
It's Joey Coulter right there that Ryan got by. There's a 25 on Max Gresham making his way. Remember, fresh tires on that 25 car. Look at him drive to the outside of Glensky. I'm not sure Glensky knew that he was there. He came up on him so quick.
Max Gresham has a win in this series. Last year at Mansfield, he was able to go to victory lane.
We just saw him win Loudon just a couple of weeks ago in the K&N East Series.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, his car was very tight. He just could not roll through the corners the way he wanted to. So how about this, Phil? The adjustment, 5 rounds up on the track bar for Max Gresham. He pitted at lap 37 and got 4 tires. That's a pretty major adjustment. How about on your end, Jim?
Just an update on the 41 of Ty Dillon. The reason why he did not come down pit road, they wanted to wait for what the leader did, but he also complained under caution the car was tight in the center and free off. That's perhaps why how Ryan Blaney got that gap before the caution. Dillon hanging on to it now. They just told him to put 2 clicks in the front brakes to try to get the car to handle better on entry.
Yeah, you really don't want a tight race car here. That's what Max Gresham was fighting. We were listening to him during practice, at the end of practice, and he was talking to his crew chief, Billy Venturini, talking about how tight that car was.
What a huge swing, too, to take it, a race car 5 rounds.
That's big. That's big.
3 wide. James Harvey Hilton, the 76-year-old, that 48. Yep, I said 76-year-old.
Max Gresham now posted to the inside of the 44. Frank Kimmel. Remember, that is not a battle for position.
On the outside, that 11. Dakota Armstrong in the 22 on the inside. These 2 racing for the 9th spot.
A little bit of contact right there.
Saw a little tire smoke.
Look at the damage to the right front corner of Dakota Armstrong's car. Dakota doing double duty this weekend. Will run also the Camping World Truck Series race tomorrow night, along with Matt Crafton and all the other stars of the Camping World Truck Series. James Busher, another guy doing double duty.
See a lot of tire smoke out of that 22.
They're going to have to keep an eye on that. Sometimes you can get a lot of smoke, but it just may be rubbing on a flat part of the fender.
You know what? The left rear, or the left front of that 11 also smoking pretty heavily.
Yeah, you can see where that fender is pushed in. That's a great shot right there to see where that fender is pushed in. It really doesn't rub till the front goes in compression.
Loads the front end. Take another look.
Take another look at it. See, Dakota comes up the racetrack just a little bit. He makes contact with Glensky. In the 11, they were trying to make their way by the 99 car of J.R. Hefner.
So Ryan Glensky hoping that does not do damage to that left front tire. You see a lot of smoke, though.
It looks like there may be some sharp edges on that fender right there.
An impressive start to this race for Ryan Glensky. He doesn't want it to end too soon. So we'll keep our eye on that as we continue to watch Ryan Blaney in the 15 get a lead on James Busher, who's running second. He's got a second lead here in the Ansell Protective Gloves 200. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. The Ansell Protective Gloves 200 on lap 54 of 200. Out in front, Ryan Blaney by just about 2 car lengths over James Busher. The 15 and the 4 running 1 and 2.
Ryan Blaney, no stranger to leading an ARCA race. He only ran 1, and it was Winchester, and he dominated that race. Had a flat tire late, looked like a sure win for him there.
Blaney trying to get by the slow lap traffic. Running a little bit higher line, the 4 of James Busher.
Sean Core, the 82 car, going a lap down. That makes it a couple laps now for Core.
James Busher trying to get by Core so he can keep within striking distance of that 15. A great turn as they go into turns 3 and 4.
Talked to Mark Redd, who was a championship crew chief in the ARCA Racing Series here for Justin Lofton, who's crew chiefing that car right now for James Busher. I said, what are you guys doing here? And he said, James wanted to play a little bit here at LOR, so here we are.
And it's working out well. Jared Marks on the inside of Joey Coulter. Those two racing for the 13th spot. Coulter on the high side, has it. Marks trying to take it away.
This is the 4th start for Jared Marks. He had a couple top 15 runs here, then had problems at Iowa last time out. While we were away at commercial break, Matt Crafton made an unscheduled pit stop and put right side tires on. So right now, Matt's being shown 4 laps down.
Pretty amazing how quickly things happen here at the short track. Again, just under 7/10 of a mile.
You make an unscheduled green flag pit stop here with the time it takes you to go down this long pit road, and you're going to lose a bunch of time.
Right now, the guys are clicking off laps at right around 24 seconds. Battle for the 5th spot. Chris Busher on the high side in the 17. Tim George Jr. in that 31 on the bottom.
Seems like Tim's been on the bottom of the racetrack trying to make it work there since the drop of the green flag. Has a great race car here. Jared Kinnan, crew chief there at RCR for the 31 car.
Max Gresham a little fresher tires just behind him in the 25 as he goes by that 31. Now trying to reel in the 17 of Chris Busher. We see the 32 coming off of pit road. That's Ryan Wilson. Jim Trado.
Guys, Ryan a lap ago went down the front stretch. I thought he was going to go through the turn 1 wall. The right front tire went down on the Champion Oil Dodge in this number 32 machine.
Big hit. Benny Chastain in the front and the 55 of Kinsey Ruston. A lot of damage between those two race cars. Caution comes out for the 2nd time.
Kinsey was in position to get the Aaron's lucky dog. She was the top running car 1 lap down. Somehow came together with Benny Chastain. See a lot of damage to that 55 Toyota. Somehow a
cone got out onto the racetrack.
Got on the racetrack.
Normally that's at a commitment line, which coming off of the racetrack. Let's take another look at what happened.
See Benny on the bottom of the racetrack. Matt Crafton, we told you that he just came into the pits. Looks like Matt got in the back of Benny, sent him sliding. There's the cone we were talking about. He slides up the racetrack right in front of Kinsey. She had committed to the outside. You saw her get on the brakes trying to avoid him. There's going to be another view. You heard the contact, the impact from Kinsey Ruston right there. What a tough break for Kinsey. There's another shot there. Matt just gets in the back of him just a little bit, sends him around.
Up the racetrack went the 75 of Benny Chastain, and nowhere to go for Kinsey Ruston. There's the damage to the back of that 75.
Well, check, guys. We'll look at it and see as we have our leaders on pit road here. Jim.
I'm in the number 41 pit of Ty Dillon all the way down to the first pit in. The car again, we mentioned tight in the center. He wants to correct the center up as well. It was a bit free. They're going to put 1 can of Sunoco fuel in the car. It will go 4 tires for newlyweds. Scott Nassett, the crew chief on the box, got married last weekend. Certainly wants to get home a victory here for his new bride. In this car, 4-tire change for Dillon, the point leader now. We'll have the 25 of Gresham go past him here.
Ryan Blaney, our leader, stays on the racetrack.
James Busher in the 4 was able to get out just in front of that 41. That's why they came off of pit road, right?
And guys, a bit of a confusion down here in Ryan Blaney's pits. He was on the radio giving information back and forth with his crew chief. They looked over and saw that the red flag was out where ARCA tells you if pit road is open. By the time they continued talking, Blaney had already gone past the entry, and then the green flag was out. They said, we weren't aware the pit road was even open.
Very unfortunate situation for Ryan Blaney. Can he recover from that? Most of the guys that he's been racing with are all going to have fresh tires.
See Casey Roderick, he's been penalized for entering the pits too fast. Watch this now. See the middle of your screen, he turns down in his pit right there.
Slides through his pit box, so has to back up before he can do any service to that race car. So Casey Roderick will be penalized by the ARCA officials. Again, Ryan Blaney accidentally stays on the racetrack, but he still has the top spot. Welcome back. Ansell Protective Gloves 200 under our second caution. Under that second caution, Frank Kimmel gets the Aaron's Lucky Dog. He will tack on to the back end of the lead lap cars. That will put 17 now on the lead lap.
Huge break for Glenski in the 11 car as well. He was able to come in and repair that damage to the left front fender. Get some clearance there.
Again, Matt Crafton on the inside of row number 1, and that is the lap down cars. On the outside, it's Ryan Blaney. Blaney brings him back to the green flag. Again, Ryan Blaney stayed out under this most recent caution. Wasn't able to put tires on, wasn't able to put fuel in, and quite a few other drivers are going to be able to make it the distance if they stay green.
Yeah, I think we're right on the edge of being able to make it the distance from this caution flag. The 3 cars right behind Ryan Blaney pitted on the other caution back at lap number 37 through 39. So right now, Ryan Blaney, the only car in the racetrack that is yet to hit pit road.
Down at the bottom of the racetrack, you see the 4 of James Busher trying to work that lower line. Right along with Joey Coulter. 3 wide as they go into 3 and 4. What an uneasy feeling that had to be for Busher to be on the outside, or Coulter to be on the outside of that.
So you want to be on the outside of that. You're going to have more grip up there.
But you hope somebody doesn't slide up into you. One of the 2 cars that are down below. Chris Busher making his way through the field.
Ty Dillon was able to get by Max Gresham. See the 82 of Sean Corr. A lot of smoke coming from that car. See Frank Kimmel going by him on the outside.
Looks like we've got an engine problem with the 82, Jim.
They thought initially it was a tire issue, but it may just been the oil under the tires. As you can see, the big plume there, that's more than just asphalt and rubber, boys.
Yeah, it looks like the caution's going to come out once again. Our 3rd caution, this time for the smoker, the 82 of Sean Corr. You see the smoke rolling out from underneath that race car.
Now Ryan Blaney, now they have to make a decision. Did they make their bet, or are they going to line it, or are they going to stay out maybe and make this race on one pit stop, but do it later, have fresher tires than all these other guys that pitted on the most recent caution? And if they're going to try to do it, then Ryan will have fresher tires, but he may elect to come in now, get tires now, and then he still has the option of coming in again. We'll see what happens, see if pit road's open. Right now, pit road remains closed.
And again, the 82 of Sean Corr comes onto pit road. Looks like his crew's going to take a look underneath the hood. You know, just coming off of turn number 4, looks like something flew off of this 82 car.
See it already smoking right now, so it's going to be losing some pretty serious stuff. Yeah, that's some pretty important stuff probably that's flying out from under that car.
Taking another look, about right here. Something shoots out from underneath that race car.
Looks like a piece of the drive shaft.
That's what I thought too.
That car lost a drive shaft. They're going to have to push it.
They're going to push it. They're going to push it a long ways if they wanted to move under its own power. So unfortunate incident for Sean Corr in the 82. Mechanical issues will end his night early. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Ansell for over 100 years, the world leader in hand protection. By CreditReport.com. See your credit score in seconds. CreditReport.com. Welcome back to Claremont, Indiana. Lucas Oil Raceway. Out in front of this field, it's Ryan Blaney. The young man missed pit road at his first opportunity to come down, and now it looks as though they're changing their strategy. Didn't come onto pit road this time when he had the opportunity.
I think he's just going to stay out here and run till he needs to come in, probably somewhere around halfway. He catches the caution at the right time.
Green flag back in the air. Ryan Blaney in the 15, McCumming in the 1, James Busher in the 4, Grant Enfinger and Ty Dillon, your top 5.
James Busher is the guy running right now in the 3rd spot that has the freshest tires. He pitted on lap number 62 for tires. Remember, Ryan obviously still with the tires he'd started the race on, but still running some great lap times.
Red Hudson right now running in the 18th spot. We have 18 cars on the lead lap.
See Tim George Jr. on the bottom of the racetrack right now. He's currently being shown in the 6th spot. There's Joey Coulter.
Battle for the second spot. Here comes Ty Dillon. Dillon moving up. He was running in the 4th position.
There's James Busher right now, getting by Chad McCumbee in that battle for second. Ty Dillon right behind them in 4th.
Busher, McCumbee, Dillon, Enfinger, your top 5. Blaney still out front.
32 car Ryan Wilson right now is a couple laps down. He made an unscheduled pit stop under green a number of laps ago.
So there's your leader, Ryan Blaney in the 15. Again, running second. The 4, oh, we've got problems. The 08. That is Casey Roderick into the wall and bringing out our 4th caution.
Casey was our 4th place qualifier here, had a great car. Remember, he got that penalty for entering the pits too fast.
Smoke rolling out. He was running in the 8th spot. You see it getting fired back up again. Excuse me, running 11th.
See the damage to the right side of that car. New team, Randy Hill Racing, made their debut at Iowa.
Got big hopes for Casey Roderick. We'll see him moving up through the ranks of stock car racing. Crafton looks like he's calling it a day. Has the window net down, helmet off. And it looked like he was running pretty strong. He was a lap down. 4 laps down. And that'll be the end of the day for Crafton. Again, Crafton running the truck race tomorrow night right here at this track. Take another look at what happened to the 08.
Looks like he cut down a right front tire, just drove in the corner there, and the car just turned right on him. Just along for the ride at that point.
20 laps short of the halfway point, and Casey Roderick with extensive damage to the right side of that race car. The 99 of J.R. Hefner gets the Aaron's lucky dog, so he'll be on the lead lap. That puts 18 now on the lead lap. And welcome back to Ansell Protective Gloves 200 here on Speed, your Motorsports Authority. Under our 4th caution of the day, this time it was Casey Roderick of the 08, who the right front tire got into the wall. Ryan Blaney still leading the field around this 7/10 mile racetrack. Let's go trackside to Ray.
Well, thank you, Rick. It was lap 63 when they did not come down pit road. So Jonathan Davis, the crew chief, has been talking to Ryan. He said, do you think the car's given up? He said, no, we need to run it longer. I think these guys will go to lap 110 before they pit. That way they'll have a difference in their tires.
Coming out of turn number 4, green flag back in the air. Ryan Blaney, James Busher, Chad McCumbee, Ty Dillon, and Grant Enfinger, your top 5.
Now we have a situation with Ryan Blaney with the old tires. James Busher put tires on in lap number 62, so we're going to see how those two shake out.
Chad McCumbee was on pit road earlier on lap 37. And he's currently running in the 3rd spot. 2 and 3 wide around this short track. Tim George Jr. in the 31 on the bottom of the racetrack.
He's battling the 36 of Grant Enfinger. It's a battle for the 5th spot.
And to get in the top 5 is Enfinger.
Tim George has that spot now.
Had it.
Almost had it.
Chris Busher just in front of Joey Coulter. These guys running 7th and 8th. You see the battle just in front of them.
Tim George's car is really good on the bottom. It's really hard to make it work down there. We've been watching him the entire race. Seems like he's been on the bottom the whole race, but he was able to get by Grant Enfinger to take over that 5th spot.
Grant Enfinger running in the 6th spot. 6th, 7th, and 8th right there on your screen. Chris Busher, Joey Coulter in the 17 and the 16.
See the 58 right behind him. Chad Hockenwald, remember, started at the back of the pack. Had to change engines after 1 lap of practice. His next lap on the racetrack was qualifying. Qualified up in the top 15, had to go to the back of the pack. Now has made his way back up into the top 10.
Get 18 cars on the lead lap. Surprisingly enough, 9-time series champion Frank Kimmel running in that 18th spot, but he is on the lead lap.
He came down pit road to make an adjustment on this most recent caution flag. Frank's probably made more pit stops this race than anybody else, continually working on that car, trying to make it better.
Enfinger had to catch that 36, moved him up the racetrack just a bit, allowing Coulter to get by in the 16. Now Chris Buescher looks to the bottom of the racetrack trying to get by Enfinger as well.
Tim George has been able to get by the one of Chad McCumbee to take over the 4th spot. Right now, Tim George Jr. on the move.
Chad Hockenbraugh also going by Enfinger, trying to make the move on the inside. Dakota Armstrong in that 22 just behind him, and Tom Hessert in the 52 behind Dakota Armstrong.
Remember Enfinger, one of the cars that pitted back on lap number 37, so his tires are a little bit older than a lot of the guys he's racing right now, but Ryan Blaney's are the oldest on the racetrack, and he's our leader. Maybe not for long.
I was going to say, it's getting a little tighter up front. Ryan Blaney has the top spot. Here comes James Buescher in the 4.
Right now, James is trying to use those new tires, or newer tires, to try to make his way by our leader, Ryan Blaney. Remember, Ryan's going to have to pit here, probably within 20 or 30 laps anyway.
James Buescher all the way down below the yellow line as they went through 3 and 4. Let's see what line he takes through 1 and 2. Another low line trying to get by. That 15 of Ryan Blaney for the lead.
That was a good shot of the difference in the banking of the racetrack. A little bit flatter down to the bottom. That's why it's hard to get the power down. You see James now is going to pull back up the racetrack and follow in the tire tracks of Ryan Blaney.
Buescher trying to find a way around that 15. Blaney trying to stay out front. Again on the tires that he started this race on. The only race car on the track that hasn't been to pit road. James Buescher was on pit road on lap 62. 7. The battle on the right of your screen. Chris Buescher just in front of Chad Hockenbraugh.
I'll tell you, that 58 of Chad Hockenbraugh has really come into his own. After having one top 10 finish in the first 6 races, the last 5 races, all top 10s, including his career best of 3rd at Winchester.
I think it might have been after he released that shirt that explained how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah. But remember, Chicago, he pretty much had that race covered. Cut down the right front tire. Ty Dillon was able to get to victory lane, but Ty said, I had nothing for the 58 of Hockenbraugh, but unfortunately, he didn't get to the end.
Hockenbraugh still trying to get by Chris Buescher. That's on the right of your screen. Here comes Dakota Armstrong into that mix. The battle for the lead on the left of your screen. Ryan Blaney, James Buescher. Here comes James Buescher. Looks like he has an advantage, but Blaney using some of the slower lap cars as picks and able to stay out front.
And using that higher side of the racetrack, more grip up there. See, James has to cool his tires a little bit after he tries to make a run at him on the bottom. Then he pulls back up behind Ryan, runs the same line he does.
Ryan Blaney and Ty Dillon, the 2 drivers that have been out front. Blaney's led 65 laps. Ty Dillon the first 31. In 7th and 8th running on the right side of your racetrack. Chad Hockenbraugh's got it, that position. Took it away from Chris Buescher.
Good Chevrolet battle right there. PME engines in that 15 car. Hendrick Motorsports engines in that 4 car.
Blaney still with about a 2-car length lead over James Buescher.
Looked like he was pulling down to the inside and actually gained a little bit on Buescher. It may have caught Buescher by surprise a little bit. See Ryan exiting a little bit lower that time too.
Ryan running a little bit lower line. That's allowed the 4 of James Buescher to keep the momentum up. Now he looks to the outside as they come out of turn number 4. Side by side for the lead. James Buescher makes the pass on the outside of Ryan Blaney and takes over the lead.
Here comes Ty Dillon in that 3rd spot. He'd like to get that 2nd spot away from Ryan Blaney. I think that may have been a veteran move by a 17-year-old Ryan Blaney. Here's a caution right here. This is exactly what Ryan Blaney needs.
The 94.
Brett Hudson.
Brett Hudson slides coming out of turn number 4 right in front of the grandstands.
If Brett was on the lead lap here, he's not going to be able to stay on the lead lap.
Coming up on the halfway point of this race. And Ryan Blaney loses the top spot to James Buescher.
Remember, we talked about Brett Hudson in the speed spotlight. Racing for a cause.
A little bit of damage to the inside of that race car. Left side for the left rear wheel. Take another look at what just happened.
look up the top of your screen. A little bit of contact, it looks like, right there. Maybe, is that Milko Duna maybe in the 63 car?
Could have been. And so Brett Hudson brings out the 5th caution from Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. Pretty good crowd on hand for short track racing on Thursday night. Stay with us. Wednesday night, the car show with Adam Carolla is all new and must see as Adam takes the original Batmobile on a spin through town and finds out how many hotties he can cram into a Mini Cooper. Don't miss the car show Wednesday night at 10 Eastern on Speed. Green flag back in the air. James Buescher out in front. Ty Dillon running second. Tim George Jr., Joey Coulter, and Chad Hockenbrough your top 5.
Ryan Blaney did take that opportunity to come down pit road. Right now being shown in the 14th position, but again, the freshest tires in the field right now. Heavy traffic. You see him right there.
Working with the 80 or the 44 of Frank Kimmel. Way up
the
against
outside
the wall.
Is that Brett Hudson?
Brett Hudson in the 94 all the way up against the wall. And he brought out our most recent caution just at the halfway point of this race.
Chris Buescher, the 17, the 22 of Dakota Armstrong right in front of Brett.
Buescher and Dillon separated by just 0.4 of a second. Last time by the stripe, down the backstretch they go. Buescher with a 3-car length lead over Ty Dillon.
Buescher was the fastest car on the racetrack, but Ty Dillon right behind, as well as his teammate Tim George Jr. right now running 3rd. Heavy traffic. Chad McCummey on the inside. Chad came down pit road on this most recent caution, as well as Ryan Blaney.
Chad McCummey, that's the 2nd stop for him in this race. And again, Ryan Blaney came onto pit road under this most recent caution, right?
Yeah, and he's all the way up to 10th already, Rick. He is slicing through the field, slicing and dicing. It was lap 101 if you're keeping score, and they went up 2 rounds on the track bar. Why? Because right there at the end of 98 laps, he said that thing started to get just a little bit tight. So a couple of rounds up will loosen him up just a little bit. He says, we got another good run like this. Do not abuse that right front tire. They keep reminding him as he moves his way back to the front. But boy, that race car looks fast.
It is fast, Ray. Got a lot of track position to make up, though. Right now, he's being shown 5.8 seconds behind our leader, James Buescher. And you see James opening up his lead over Ty Dillon right now.
That's a big lead over Ty Dillon. James Buescher has now passed 300 career laps led in only his 22nd ARCA Racing Series start. So Buescher trying to get back to victory lane in the ARCA Racing Series. Ty Dillon chasing him. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our Messina mid-race recap. We're on Speed. Ty Dillon grabbed his 6th career pole, led the field. 18-year-old Ty Dillon. On the outside was 17-year-old Ryan Blaney. Tight racing early in this one. Ryan Blaney moves to the inside, takes the top spot away from Ty Dillon.
Yeah, 17-year-old Ryan Blaney takes over that top spot just as Frank Kimmel, 9-time champion, is about to go a lap down.
Lap 34. Problems for Vinny Chastain. Sideways through turn number 2. Able to avoid contact, but that brings out our first caution.
Here's in lap number 50. Tight racing up in front there. You see the 11 and the 22 get together. Glenski and Armstrong. You see resulting damage to the left front of Glenski's car.
2nd caution coming out. This time Crafton gets into the back of that 75 of Chastain. He slides back up the racetrack and catches the 55 of Kinsey Ruston.
Kinsey was absolutely nowhere to go as Vinny Chastain slid up the racetrack. Here's caution number 3. You see Sean Corr. He's going to lose a drive shaft. A piece of it just came out from behind the car, landed against the inside wall.
4th caution. This one was the 08 of Casey Roderick. Right front tire goes away, into the outside wall he goes.
Just before halfway, James Buescher with fresher tires takes over the lead from Ryan Blaney. Remember, Ryan Blaney had not made a pit stop at this point in the race.
And then problems for the 94. Brett Hudson sideways coming out of turn number 4. That brings the caution out once again.
And that does bring Ryan Blaney to pit road. He will get 4 tires on his seal wrap Chevrolet. And he's already made his way back up to the 4th position now as we get ready under another caution flag.
6th caution comes out because Bobby Gerhardt gets around, a little contact there. So Gerhardt had gone around, and then some cosmetic damage to the front of that race car. As we look at our Messina Wildlife Management numbers, Buescher out in front. 3 lead changes between 2 drivers. 6 cautions and 5 are currently out of the race. Let's get some pit updates before they go green. Ray.
Well, Rick, I'm going to have my eyes on number 25, Max Gresham. They put on 4 fresh sticker tires at lap 119. I'm going to watch him fly through the field, I think, just the way that Ryan Blaney did.
Thanks, Ray. Coming out of turn 4, James Buescher leads the field to the green flag. Ty Dillon just behind him in the 41. Just 78 laps of racing to go.
The lap car now is pulled up in front of Tim George Jr. Look at the gap that's allowed the front 2 to get.
Battle for the lead. Dillon to the bottom of the racetrack. James Buescher up top. Keep our eye on those 2, but you can't take your eye off the 15 either of Ryan Blaney. He's been able to work his way back up into the top 4.
He got hung behind that lap car as well. That last lap car was absolutely up in the way, holding up a lot of the runners in the top 5.
Ty Dillon still working on the 4. James Buescher. Buescher out in front. Dillon running second. 2 and 3 wide back behind him. On the right side of your screen.
That's Gresham. Gresham in the 25. Remember, Ray told us that he has 4 sticker tires on that car right now. He runs behind the 16 of Coulter and the 52 of Hesser.
These guys running 13th, 14th, and 15th. Look at these 2 still trying to battle for that top spot. James Buescher now a little more cushion between he and second place Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney restarted that race in the 4th spot, got hung behind that lap car. He fell all the way back to 7th. He just grabbed the 6th spot back from Grant Enfinger just a few moments ago. There's Josh Williams, the 02 car on the outside of Hesser. He's on the lead lap. There's Glenski in the 11 car. Here's Coulter making a move under Jared Marks in the 8 car. There's Frank Kimmel. Made a number of pit stops adjusting on that Ford.
Still running in the 16th spot is Kimmel. Seeing a lot of cars running that bottom line around this racetrack now. The third line, as we talked earlier, was up toward the high end of this racetrack. There you see Glenski in the 11.
See Joey Coulter trying to make his way underneath Tom Hessert. That's the 05 car, Spencer Gallagher. He's on the outside. He is down a couple laps right now, but running up in the groove in front of all these lead lap cars.
Coulter able to get by Hesser. You see Gresham in 25. There's Jared Marks in the 8. A wounded 44 of Frank Kimmel. You saw the damage to the left side of that race car. Short track racing for the ARCA Racing Series. A lot of sheet metal damage to that 44. Jared Marks making the move up the middle.
Kimmel trying to make his way back towards the top 10.
Kimmel needed an Aaron's lucky dog to get back on the lead lap. He was already a lap down early in this race.
Josh Williams now had to make some contact with the lap car, Spencer Gallagher. That's the car that was in front of Tim George and Ryan Blaney on the restart.
Joey Coulter trying to get by Grant Enfinger, Chad McCumbee, and Chris Buescher. There's 4 cars running for position on the racetrack.
It's a battle for 7th on back. Now Joey Coulter has it for a moment in that 16 car. Buescher's going to follow him on the bottom.
Bobby Gerhardt around once again, brings out the 7th caution. Is that an advantage for guys like Ryan Blaney, who had the ability to come onto pit road a little bit later than some of the guys he's racing against?
Yeah, I don't think it's an advantage because he needs green flag laps to try to pass these guys. And right now, every lap they run under caution is 1 less lap that he's able to try to make something happen. Right now, he's being shown in the 5th spot.
Just 69 laps remaining here at Lucas Oil Raceway. The Ansell Protective Gloves 200 on speed. Wednesday night on Speed, don't miss the premiere of Dumbest Stuff on Wheels. It's the most outrageous and downright stupidest situations, crashes, and mishaps ever caught on video. Dumbest Stuff on Wheels premieres Wednesday night at 8 Eastern. Back-to-back episodes only on Speed.
I watched a bit of a preview of that show, and that stuff was pretty incredible.
It's scary what some people will do on wheels and then still have been caught on video. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Brandon Kidd in the number 7, so he will be back on the lead lap. That puts 18 on our lead lap. Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on the number 22. Dakota Armstrong came in to get 4 fresh tires. That was lap 133. And also the 11 of Ryan Glinsky, who was in my spotlight, came in. They dropped the jack and were not able to get the pit stop done in time, so he'll restart 1 lap down.
Yeah, he's going to have to rely on possibly getting an Aaron's lucky dog. Right now, there are only 2 cars being shown 1 lap down, Ryan Glinsky and the 34 of Darrell Basham.
Green flag back in there. Problems on Tim George into the wall. Chad Hockenbraun got in the back of him. Joey Coulter also with damage. Jared Marks has some damage to that number 8 car.
He ran into Tim George, hit him extremely hard. See Joey Coulter, a lot of damage to that car running up in the top 10. Tim George had a great car running up in the top 5.
Looks like he got turned by Chad Hockenbraun. We'll have to take another look at the replay, but Tim George Jr. right into the outside wall, and they're going to red flag this one. Get the safety crews out to these vehicles stopped on the front stretch.
It's amazing how much damage you can have. They're not even out of second gear yet, and you can see all the damage. There's Jared Marks' car, Joey Coulter's car behind him. We saw the damage to the 31 of Tim George Jr.
Unfortunate restart. Let's take another look.
See Tim George lines up 3rd. Chad Hockenbraun right behind him. He gets into him coming off of turn number 4. Tim tries to save it, but when he did, the front end was pointed towards the outside wall, and Chad got into him again and turned him into the outside wall.
Phil, early on, it looked as though Tim George Jr. may have slid the tires, and that allowed that 58 to get right up on him.
You could see the gap between Tim George and the 2nd place car of Ty Dillon. I think you're exactly right.
Tim George Jr. into the outside wall with help from the 68. Here it is once again.
Saw the gap right there. I think Tim George did spin his tires. These guys restarted pretty early coming up off turn number 4. Hard contact. Frank Kimmel does a nice job avoiding that.
Look at speed. Guys with nowhere to go. Right there, the 8 of Jared Marks. Hard into the right side of that 31 of Tim George Jr. Right along with Joey Coulter.
He got hit from behind. Nothing Joey could do about it. He saw the incident. He was going to be able to miss that on his own, but somebody ran in the back of Joey. Probably going to be Grant Enfinger runs in the back of Joey Coulter. Again, Grant doesn't have the advantage of seeing it like Joey Coulter did.
Tim George Jr. out of his race car.
Tough break for
Joey Coulter.
Tim George came into this race 5th in points. He's been steadily moving up the ladder in the points, putting some great runs back to back.
Again, after our 8th caution, or our 7th caution came out, this was the restart. James Busher out in front, Ty Dillon running 2nd. 3rd, Tim George Jr., but didn't get up to speed as quickly and pushed into the outside wall. Starts a chain reaction.
It's just amazing how much damage those cars have. No faster than they were going right there.
Holding in 2nd gear, the green flag came out, and just as quickly, the yellow comes out. Our 8th caution of the day in Indianapolis. Welcome back. The red flag has gone away, replaced by a yellow flag. You see a lot of the damage in the infield, and this is how all of that damage happened. On the restart, 3rd car back, the 31 of Tim George Jr.
Doesn't quite get going, maybe spun the tires a little bit. Chad Hockenbraun was right on his rear bumper. He gets into him, turns into outside wall. Grant Enfinger runs into Joey Coulter. Jared Marks comes along and hits the 31 of Tim George hard.
Tim George Jr. was in the infield care center, now is out with Ray.
And guys, after that initial spin, it looked like he might have been okay. Second hit really took it awful hard. Tim, did you have a problem on the restart?
No, not really. We just got tapped initially right away, and then tapped. I counted 5 times watching the replay there. I think maybe he just had too much, little too much NOS on that restart, and he just was a little too jumpy, you know. And I don't know. It's too bad. We had a really good car. Everyone at RCR did a really great job. We got sideswiped by the 44 in practice and rebounded awesome. Had a shaky qualifying, but what a good race car. You know, I guess there's nothing left to do but go to an Applebee's and drink a Budweiser.
Okay, got a lot of sponsors in there, but the car is really tore up, guys.
Yeah, really big hit, again, by Jared Marks. Field all in line. Green flag coming out once again. James Buescher in front of Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney now was able to avoid that incident. He restarts in the 3rd spot. Fresher tires in the cars, and 2 cars in front of him. Here goes Ty Dillon to the inside, side by side.
Side by side for the lead. Down the backstretch they go. Dillon on the inside. James Buescher on the outside.
Oh, Dillon gets loose, gets sideways, opens up the bottom for Blaney.
Here comes Ryan Blaney all the way down on the apron. It was almost 3 wide for the lead as they went through 3 and 4.
Ty Dillon has to be a little bit defensive right now. If he jumps to the inside, Ryan Blaney may jump to the outside of him. If Ty Dillon's not able to make the pass, then Blaney may take 2nd spot from him.
Hockenbraugh and McCumbee battling for position just behind these top 3.
A lot of damage to Hockenbraugh's car from that last restart incident. See all the damage. There it goes by right there, missing a right front fender. There it is. The 58 car.
And the 17 of Chris Buescher gets into the wall.
Chris had a lot of damage from that restart as well. Now he's got a lot more damage. Looks like he had something rubbing, probably cut down that right front tire and flat-sided it.
Stay green. Buescher trying to keep that race car off the track and get back to pit road. Out in front, James Buescher, Ty Dillon, and Ryan Blaney. 1, 2, and 3 down the backstretch.
I think these 3 cars right now are pretty equal. Remember, Blaney has the freshest tires of the 3. Are they going to be enough for him to allow him to get by those 2 cars? He's pulled to the inside of Ty Dillon right now.
Now to take 2nd away from Dillon. Can he do it from the inside of the racetrack? Down on the bottom. They're door to door as they come out of turn number 2. Blaney still having problems getting by for 2nd.
It's just so hard to try to make the bottom pass work. You see Ryan Blaney now all the way down against the grass, but he needs to use that racetrack, needs to get on that throttle and get that bite, just can't do it. It's so flat down there.
Battle for the 5th spot on the right, Dakota Armstrong, Tom Hessert. Armstrong was able to get by Hessert, a little contact as he went by. The battle for 2nd once again.
Blaney's doing a nice job not over driving that car, not driving in the corner so hard and using up and abusing that right front tire.
Still 53 laps of racing to go. And a spin on the racetrack. The 63 of Milcaduna goes around. So Milcaduna goes around. Caution comes out for the 9th time.
She has some damage to that left front corner of that Patrick Shelter Motorsports car. She was running in the 19th position.
Take another look at what happened.
That's Brett Hudson, the 94 right behind her. He gets into the left rear quarter panel, turns her around. Then they make some more contact. Frank Kimmel does a nice job avoiding that.
Coming out of 4, ARCA Racing officials have just warned the 94 for rough driving. Milcaduna. Duno gets the damage to the left front of that race car. So the 9th caution comes out. That will bunch the field back up. James Buescher, Ty Dillon, and Ryan Blaney still battling. 1, 2, 3. With just 50 laps of racing to go, the top 3 have led them onto pit road. Ray Dunlap.
Ryan Blaney was coming no matter what those front 2 cars did. His seal wrap Chevy will get 4 tires here with no adjustments. Now to the front of the field, and Jim Trado.
Same call here for Scott Nassett and the 41 team for Ty Dillon. The Hemmelgarn Enterprises Chevrolet on pit road. He said we're coming regardless as well. They've got all the tape off the nose of this race car. They're going to do 4 tires. A small adjustment now in the right rear as the Sunoco fuel can is still going in. They're going to top it off with some Sunoco fuel here and go 4 tires for Ty Dillon. And it looks like Buscher is going to be on pit road. Maybe Chad McCumbee as well.
Ty Dillon is able to come off second. Chad McCumbee third. Ryan Blaney's going to come out right here. Chris Buscher now is more than 1 lap down, so I think Ryan Blaney will come off pit road 4th. But Dakota Armstrong, the 22 car, stayed on the racetrack. He just pitted 15 laps ago. So Dakota Armstrong right now will be in the driver's seat.
So an interesting turn of events as we close in on the final 50 laps. Dakota Armstrong staying on the racetrack, getting that track position. Will he be able to hold off the field? You see Milka Duno coming off the racetrack once again with that left rear tire, or left front tire down. Saturday, the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series rips up the dirt in Eldora. This is racing on the edge. Don't miss the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series Kings Royal. That's Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on Speed.
Good crowd on hand here, Rick.
Great crowd on hand as it's cooling off a bit, the sun going down. A little night racing at Lucas Oil Raceway.
Just wanted to send out our best wishes to a former champion here in the series. The 1981 champion, Larry Moyer, is battling some health issues. We want to say, hey, Larry, get well soon, buddy. We're thinking about you. And Ron Drager, the president of ARCA, told me that Larry Moyer in 1981, that's when the founder of ARCA, John Markham, which is Ron's grandfather, passed away. And he said it was really a series in flux. They didn't know which direction they were going to go. Larry Moyer stuck it out, stuck with them, won the championship that year. And then Big Bill France came along and really saved the series and got them going to the next level. But Larry Moyer, they really owe a huge debt of gratitude to Larry Moyer for hanging in there with him, running all the races, and Ron and everybody at ARCA, as well as everyone here at Speed, want to send out our best wishes to a champion, Larry Moyer.
Larry Moyer, the 1981 ARCA Racing Series champion. He won 1 race that year, and it was actually the day after Mr. Markham passed away.
Yeah, Dayton Speedway, one of the big venues for the ARCA Series for so many years.
Well, the field back in line behind this time the 22 of Dakota Armstrong. Tom Hessert just behind, and Josh Williams in the 02 running third. Green flag back in the air. The big question, will they be able to hold off fresher tires?
James Buscher right now restarted in the 5th spot. The 4 cars in front of them, 58 car Chad Hockenbraugh in the wall.
So Hockenbraugh, right side damage to that race car. Will it bring out the caution?
We stay green right now. Dakota Armstrong continues to lead.
Hockenbraugh was rolling into turn 3. Didn't come onto pit road. Now he's on the access road, and so he'll get into the pits. We stay green. Chad McCumbee to the inside.
That's the 11 of Ryan Glensky. Remember, he stayed on the racetrack. There's Dave Blaney now. I'm sorry, Ryan Blaney. All the way to the bottom of the racetrack, making it 3 or 4 wide here. Remember, Ryan Blaney has fresh tires. These cars in front of him do not.
Ryan Glinsky in the 11. Josh Williams in the 02. Battling for that 5th spot. Glinsky has it. Here comes Ryan Blaney in the 15, trying to take the 5th spot away from the 11 of Ryan Glinsky.
Ryan's going to be able to get it here. May not clear him right this second, but he is going to be able to get him with those fresh tires. James Buscher was able to get through traffic the best. Now he's been able to move up to the 2nd spot. Got by the 52 of Tom Hesser. Tom back to 4th.
Ryan Blaney makes the pass now. Here comes James Buscher in the 4. Ty Dillon in the 41 just behind him, running in the 3rd spot. Those two clearing the slower lap traffic. Here they come, reeling in the 22 of Dakota Armstrong.
Ty Dillon continues to try to work on James Buscher. He knows that James Buscher is probably his stiffest competition right now. Ryan Blaney a couple spots behind them.
These two running 2nd and 3rd. Now Ryan Blaney was able to get by Tom Hessert. Blaney moves up into the 4th spot.
Couple lap cars in front of him. Chris Buscher, the 17. and the 32 of Ryan Wilson, both lap cars right now.
1, 2, and 3 on your screen. Dakota Armstrong, James Buescher, Ty Dillon. Dillon looks to the inside of Buescher for second.
Not quite able to make the move there. Now James Buescher's going to go all the way to the bottom. Ty Dillon should grab the top right now.
Dakota Armstrong trying to hold off for the lead. Side by side for second. Ty Dillon, James Buescher. Dillon tries to take second away on the high side of the racetrack.
Ty Dillon took advantage of James Buescher going for the lead on the bottom of the racetrack. Closed that hole up on the outside. Took over that second spot. That was a huge pass right there.
Ty Dillon, after winning the pole earlier today, now looks to the inside to try to take the lead once again. This time he's got to get by Dakota Armstrong with just 40 laps of racing to go.
He has to be careful because James Buescher will do the same thing to him. If he's going to try to make this pass on the bottom, he better make it or James Buescher will close that hole up.
He moves up the racetrack, tucks in behind the 22 of Dakota Armstrong. Now running the higher line through 1 and 2.
Ty Dillon has no margin for error right now. If he jumps down to the inside and he runs more than a half a lap beside Dakota Armstrong, James Buescher will pull to the outside of him.
Once again, Ty Dillon running the lower line around this racetrack. Dakota Armstrong still holding him off.
Right now, Ty Dillon would love to see Dakota Armstrong slip a little bit where he could gain that momentum. Here he goes to the inside again. Watch Buescher go to the outside now.
Ty Dillon trying to make the move. Coming out of turn number 4. Doesn't quite clear that left rear quarter panel. And now the battle for second. Here comes James Buescher once again. They're side by side for second.
It's going to be hard to make that pass on the bottom. We've seen it all day long. Really, really difficult to make that pass from the bottom to on an equal car.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, just to add, Dakota Armstrong's car is the exact same one he used to win at Winchester. He's just a little bit tight on entry, and you can see that's making him loose off just a tiny bit. But I think I agree with you guys. That high side is giving him the momentum. He likes it up there. He said, I'm going to stay on the high side. They'll have to pass me on the bottom.
Ryan Blaney back into the picture now in that 15.
Ty Dillon has him cleared. He's got the lead now.
Ty Dillon takes the top spot away from Dakota Armstrong. They cross the stripe. Here comes James Buescher all the way down to the apron to try to take second away from Dakota Armstrong.
James is going to do a slide job. You knew that when he drove down there. Here comes Ryan Blaney. He's by Dakota Armstrong.
Dakota Armstrong's got to be checking his neck right now as quickly as 3 cars just cleared him. About 1 lap. He goes from 1st to 4th.
Now the battle's on between Ty Dillon in the 41, James Buescher in the 4, and Ryan Blaney in the 15.
34 laps of racing to go. Ty Dillon back in front. James Buescher running second. Ryan Blaney in 3rd. Great battle from Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. Stay with us. More Green Flag Racing next. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Messina Wildlife Management. Stop animal damage with Messina Wildlife Management. And by Aaron's. You don't need credit. All you need is Aaron's. Still out in front, Ty Dillon. James Buescher running second, Ryan Blaney in 3rd, but the battle continues between those two, side by side for second. Here comes Blaney to the inside.
A little bit of contact. Ryan Blaney right now has a sense of urgency. He knows time is running out, just outside of 20 laps to go. He knows he has to make something happen. He can't win the race if he's behind James Buescher. He's got to get in front of James Buescher and try to chase down Ty Dillon.
James Buescher wanted to win this race, and now he has 1.8 seconds that separate him and Ty Dillon, and he's got his hands full with Ryan Blaney just behind him, coming out of turn number 4 in front of the grandstands. They go side by side again for second.
May be able to do something, may be able to use Frank Kimmel as a pick. Frank moves down the racetrack. Ryan moves James up. He's able to clear him right now to take over that second spot and see if he can chase down Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney way up the racetrack, moves James Buescher up the track, takes second away. Here comes Buescher. Little contact there as they go through 3 and 4.
That's about as clean a pass as you can make at this racetrack.
So now Ryan Blaney will try to slowly reel in Ty Dillon.
He'll try to quickly reel in Ty Dillon.
Well, Ty Dillon has set a blistering pace. He has a 1.7 second lead now over Ryan Blaney. There he is trying to get by the slower lap traffic. That will slow him down just a bit. We'll see who gets through the traffic better.
Last 2 laps, Ryan Blaney has had the fastest car on the racetrack. He beat Ty that time by about 3.5 tenths, but Ty was hung up with that lap car of Spencer Gallagher.
And last time by, Ty Dillon wasn't even one of the top 4 fastest cars on the racetrack, so he is being caught by that 4 and the 15. So the 4 of James Buescher running 3rd, 15 of Ryan Blaney running 2nd, and you see the gap between the 2. Max Gresham in the 25 up near the wall coming out of turn 2.
Max just has gone down a lap. We're going to take a look at the speeds at the line here. We'll see what our leaders are running. Ty Dillon that last time was the fastest car on the racetrack. Let's see what he runs this time. Run a 24-23. Ryan Blaney 3.5 tenths of a second faster than Ty Dillon. Only 1 second behind now, 15 to go.
Ryan Blaney reeling him in with 15 laps to go. Ty Dillon right in between Josh Williams and Milka Duno. Now the door gets closed for the 15 of Ryan Blaney. He also tries to split the 2 race cars. Can't do it yet. As they go into turn number 1, he will be able to get by.
Ryan's done a nice job getting up through this traffic. He's close to within about a half a second right now of Ty. Let's see if he can get by the 82 of Sean Corr without losing any time. Sean backs off. Lets Ryan have the bottom.
Remember, Sean Corr, we thought had an engine expire earlier. A drive shaft comes apart, and he's back out on the racetrack.
What a great job by Ryan Glinsky. This opportunity with Andy Hillenberg through his driving school, and man, is he making the most of it. Right now running 6th. There's Chad McCumbee running 7th.
Very impressive performance by Ryan Glinsky, running in that 6th position as he works his way through the slower lap traffic as well. Again, having a little contact with the 22 of Dakota Armstrong earlier in the race, creating a little tire rub, smoke coming out from that race car. They were able to fix it on pit road, and he stays in the top 10, battling for a top 5 spot now. Ryan Blaney on the right, Ty Dillon on the left. Those 2 running 1 and 2. The difference last time by 8 tenths of a second. Can he close the gap?
Ooh, look at him slide sideways up off the corner. You don't think he's trying to catch Ty Dillon?
Giving it his all, Ryan Blaney. 17 and 18 years old. Ryan Blaney 17. Ty Dillon 18 years old. The future of stock car racing right here in the ARCA Racing Series.
Both 3rd generation drivers.
There's the 36 of Grant Enfinger getting by Max Gresham.
Took over the 9th spot.
Those cars running a lap down. Currently only 7 cars on the lead lap. Chad McCumbee running in the 7th spot. Scored 1 lap down.
Ryan Blaney again that time the fastest car on the racetrack. He's pulled it within 6 tenths of a second of Ty Dillon.
Ty Dillon watching the laps click off. 9 laps of racing to go. Ryan Blaney within 0.78 seconds.
Heavy traffic now for Ty Dillon. He's going to go to the bottom of Bobby Gerhardt. He's able to clear him. Chad McCumbee would love to stay on the lead lap. He may be a little more difficult to pass.
McCumbee at the tail end of the lead lap, trying to stay on the lead lap, trying to stay in front of the 41, but he moves up high. The 41 of Dillon gets by.
Ty just barely able to clear Chad McCumbee, but that was huge with only 7.5 laps to go.
Ryan Blaney 6 tenths of a second back in 2nd.
He's
Ty
having
Dillon.
a deal with Chad McCumbee, just like Ty Dillon did. He's going to go to the inside of Chad here, try to beat him down in turn number 1. He is able to clear him.
7 laps to go. Last time by, it was 7 tenths of a second. Marieb Defoe in the 12 on the bottom of the racetrack. Both cars able to clear. Again, Chad McCumbee running in the 7th spot. He's 1 lap down. Now just 6 cars on the lead lap.
Some more lap traffic in front of Ty Dillon. It all depends on how he catches those lap cars.
Is there enough time for Ryan Blaney to close in and get by the dominant driver in the 2011 season here in the ARCA Racing Series? Ty Dillon has already won 5 races this year, leading the points by over 270.
Ty lost a little time having to drive through the corner on the inside. Ryan gains a little bit. You could see Ryan sideways off the corner. Both rear tires leaving black marks.
Coming up on some slower lap traffic, how will Ty Dillon be able to get through? Coming out of turn number 4. Problems on the racetrack. It'll bring the caution out.
That's Kenzie Ruston in the 55 car, as well as the 32 of Ryan Wilson.
So the caution comes out for the 10th time. That will pack the field back up behind Ty Dillon. It'll give Ryan Blaney one more shot.
He'll line up right behind Ty Dillon.
Problems for that 23 of Levi Yoster as well. With just 4 laps of racing to go, the caution comes out. That's the front end of that 55 of Kenzie Ruston. Take another look.
Most of that damage from before. See, Kenzie drives in the corner. She slowed down because of the 82 of Sean Corr. Ryan Wilson had already committed, ran to the back of Kenzie, turned her around, and then gets pinned up against the wall.
So a lot of damage to the front end of that 32. And more damage to the 55 of Kenzie Ruston. How about Dave Blaney watching his young son at just 17 years old run second here at Lucas Oil Raceway? Welcome back. Getting ready for green white checker here as we look at our goof off race summary. After 199 of what was scheduled to be 200 laps, now we're going extra distance here. Out in front, Ty Dillon. There's been 4 different drivers, and the lead has changed 5 times. 10 times the caution has come out, only 8 cars out of this race. Now, is this the big chance for Ryan Blaney?
Without a doubt. Now, if Ryan could just whistle that thing in there on the bottom, remember what Kenny Schrader says, 8 tires handle better than 4. If he can just get to the inside of Ty Dillon, maybe even lean on him a little bit, he's got a shot at it.
Now, this isn't the only attempt at a green-white checker. We will try this until we finish under green, so we'll find out what happens here for Ty Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and James Busher back in the mix. Those are your top 3. Coming out of turn number 4, back into the gas, green flag back in the air.
A great start by Ty Dillon. Ryan Blaney's not close enough to make that move. James Busher's going to try to do that to him.
Looks to the inside, trying to take second away. Not going to be able to clear him. Now as they go down the backstretch. Next time by, it'll be a white flag.
Huge restart for Ty Dillon. A race-winning restart for Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney still trying to reel him in if he can. White flag goes in the air. One more time by. A phenomenal restart for the 41 of Ty Dillon, looking to get his 6th win in the 2011 season.
One more corner for Ty Dillon.
Dillon comes out at turn number 4 after 25 years. The ARCA Racing Series makes it back to Lucas Oil Raceway, and Ty Dillon will go to victory lane.
What an outstanding job by all these young drivers up front. Ty Dillon and Ryan Blaney, James Busher, Dakota Armstrong, Tom Hessert, and Ryan Glinsky with an opportunity. We won a contest to get in this race.
First start ever for Ryan Glinsky, and he finishes in 6th. A top 10 finish in his first start ever. There's a proud father.
That's Ty's dad, Mike.
Mike Dillon saying, where's victory lane? Where do I need to go to victory lane? You tell me where that car's going to stop, because that's where I'm headed. His other son, Austin Dillon, just coming off of a win just last week at Nashville. So a dominant performance by this family. Ty Dillon started on the pole earlier today, gets his 8th career win in the ARCA Racing Series, coming in your points leader, and he will pad that lead once again.
Pretty good at burnouts, too.
How about percentage-wise? 8th career win in his 15th start. Over 50%.
I believe that's better than half.
A phenomenal restart for Ty Dillon. Coming out of turn number 4, he puts 3 car lengths between himself and Ryan Blaney. And it was unattainable for Blaney. Couldn't get back to him. And a guy who's getting really good at celebrating wins Ty Dillon climbs out of the race car, grabs the checkered flag, and celebrates one more time. Let's hear from him. He's with Jim Trado.
Just getting a hug from his father, Mike Dillon. Ty, win number 6 on the year. You told me before the race this car felt really good. Man, that thing was on rails at the end.
It was. I can't thank Flash enough. He dialed that thing in for me. We were a little off at the beginning of the race. We hung in there tight, stayed patient all day, and just so happy. I'd like to thank Chevy for helping us out and Himmelgarn Enterprises, Children's Institute Pediatric Trauma. I also want to send out our prayers to Shane and Dale McDowell. Their mama's in bad health, and she's going to keep on fighting, and we love them.
Ty, talk about that last restart. You know that Blaney had a very fast race car.
Yeah, he did. You know, they were telling me he was coming a little bit at the end, and once we got that restart at the end, I was focused. I was ready to win another one. We worked so hard all day. I just had to win it for these guys. I'm so happy. I can't think of enough. This is awesome, man. Winning at ORP, I like this place. I'm in love now. I can't wait to come back.
Ty Dillon batting 500 in 2011, right?
Well, Jim, it kind of ended up just the way they started. Ty Dillon out front, Ryan Blaney in second. You got your car out front a good bit tonight. What did you learn tonight here in Indianapolis?
Really be patient. Ty and James did a great job of being patient. You know, we had to work through lap traffic a lot of the night, and when we come in and pitted, you know, we were on a different pit sequence, so it was really tricky out there tonight. But you know, I think he saved his right rear a little bit better than mine. So if I just had a little bit better drive off, I think you guys would have seen a little bit better race. But oh well, congratulations to them.
He's run a lot of late model races, and he's learning a lot. Good finish tonight for Ryan Blaney.
Take a look at the point standings. He came in with about a 270-point lead. Now it's 355 over 9-time series champion Frank Kimmel.
That is amazing. With just a handful of races left this year, it looks like maybe obviously his championship to win, but Frank Kimmel does move up a spot to second. Grant Enfinger now in third.
And this is actually Frank Kimmel's first finish outside of the top 10 in all of the races that we've run this year. Let's hear from Busher. He's standing by with Ray.
Well, good finish tonight. You got out front a good bit. How much fun was that?
It was a lot of fun. You know, I really like this racetrack. Lucas Oil Raceway was a lot of fun for me. And running the truck in Nationwide this weekend, I figured why not run the ARCA race and get a little bit more track time. And, you know, we came here to win the race, and we weren't fast enough at the end. We had it in the middle part of the race, but just fell off at the end. And you know, Ty and the 15 were both really fast, so just couldn't hang on to it. Came home third. Not a bad night for Great Clips, and you know, everybody at Turner Motorsports learned a lot for the rest of the weekend, and you know, I'm glad to have Great Clips on board for the first time this year, and a lot of good things happening for us.
All right, 2 more chances this weekend for James Busher to do just a bit better. He'll finish third tonight here at Indy.
Thanks, Ray. Short track racing for the ARCA Racing Series here at Lucas Oil Raceway. And again, 25 years since the last time they were here.
Yeah, what a great show they put on here. And we're not done here. We're going to be back tomorrow with the Cameron World Truck Series beating and banging.
And right here, coming up next, American Trucker on Speed, your motorsports authority. Frustrations and elation for a few different drivers, but the biggest celebration, the 41 team of Ty Dillon, his 6th win this season.